Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleeds podcast. I'm Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today, sir?
Wonderful. How about you?
Ah, if I was any better, I'd be twins.
Let's see. What can we make out of Twins? The Twins are a baseball team. It's baseball season, but first we got to get through March Madness.
Mhm.
Oh, that was genius. Yeah, I did that.
Is it baseball season yet, or is it basketball season still?
It's basketball season to me, but if anyone feels like it's baseball season, I totally understand that.
We've played 6 games already. I'm,
Yeah, I
I'm
mean, it
six
is base.
games. I'm 6 games in, man.
It is. It's the middle of the season for you.
Yeah. The other team, so we played like 40 games last year. The other team in our organization at our age played 24 or 25. So I've already played six, and
In
I've
two
played
weekends.
I've played a fourth of what he played last year
Jeez,
in two
Louise.
weekends.
Wow.
A quarter of his games are already done. If he was in, if that was mine.
It's impressive. Are you guys going to beat the 40 mark this year, you
Oh
think?
yeah.
Or yeah.
My goal is 50. Like I'd like to
Okay.
be around 50 this year. I think that 45 to 55 is the number that I feel that I feel is a good number for this age as long as you can split them up right.
Hmm.
So 50 would be a number that that I was shooting for when I made the schedule.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
that was the number. So we'll see how it goes. Be
Yeah.
interesting.
Right on. Very good. How are you guys through 6 games?
2-4.
Okay. That's all right.
A lot of close games. Lost. We have now lost 3 of the 4 games by 1 run. So the way that the way the league, it's a lot of the way the year went last year. A lot of 1 run games. But that's okay. It's early. That's what this stuff is about.
Hmm.
Um, Again, the teams we're losing to though, it's like I don't understand it.
Teams you feel like you guys should be beating.
Yeah, if you walk out, like if you were there and you were watching and you didn't know the score and you just watched both teams warm up, you would go, "Oh, they're gonna win." Like that's I can just look at them and tell they're, and it's just
Mhm.
not. We're just not hitting, man. Not hitting. Defense is great, can't hit.
Um, you guys were you 1-3 in the first weekend? Am I wrong?
Yeah,
One
we
and
were
two, 1-3, 1-2, one and
no,
three,
we were 1-2 the
one and
first
two.
weekend. Yeah,
So now you're 2-4. You went 1-1. No,
yeah,
you went one. Yeah,
we did.
yeah, 1-1
We
this
won
weekend.
our we
Yeah.
they only played one pool play game. We won that, and then bracket play we were the 2 seed. There's only one pool play game because of rain. We were
Mhm.
2 seed and lost by one. Lost by
That's right.
one.
You guys are right there.
5-4.
It's early on.
Barn burner.
That's a good, that's a good baseball score though. I feel like
Absolutely. Mhm.
sometimes, when now you guys have like you're not just like some old you're not like Saint Vivian no, I mean no offense, but like Saint Vivian,
There's gonna be a dad for St. Vivian. Like, my son plays for St. Vivian, third grade. We went
yeah.
8-2 last year.
Yes. My email address if you want to cuss me out is chriswit@yahoo.mail.
That's exactly right.
Um okay.
You tell me all about your 8-2 team. Sounds like a good weekend to me.
You guys played Little Flower. You guys played
Yes. St. Boniface.
St. Boniface.
No. But anyway, yeah, we got a little ways to go. But I feel good about the year, man. Feel really good. It's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a good season. We'll make it. We'll make it, and very excited to see how the kids grow and all that stuff. But yeah, you had your first practice today, coaching a new team. Adam back on the hardwood. He's got some. What is it?
Yeah, basketball season's just starting for me.
16-year-old girls, 16, 17,
Yeah, mostly juniors.
mostly juniors.
Yeah, and I'm just helping out. I'm just helping out a coach. I'm an assistant. So, yeah, but we had our first practice tonight and it was good to see everybody and figure out I found out I know one girl and I kind of know another girl already. So,
Yeah.
and then we got take me a few practices to learn names
The names, the first 2 practices of names is the hardest for me.
yeah.
I feel like whether it's boys or girls, I feel like I say the name so many times.
Hmm.
And I'm constantly like, God, give me your name one more time. Give me your name. And then I'll say it back. And like, I know that they're probably like, this dude doesn't stop saying my name.
Yeah.
but it's because I need to learn
You need the repetition. I'm
it.
the same way.
Yeah.
I have to have the repetition. Yeah, and these days you can kind of guess, with boys, is it going to be Bryson? Is it going to be
Liam,
Liam? With girls, you're going to
Beckham.
have
Oh,
yeah,
girls. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you're going to
You got
have
a Sophie.
you got
You
Sophie's.
got
Sure.
hold on. You've got Lily's.
You got
Lots of
some others.
L's. I'm gonna tell you this, lots of L's. My basketball team, Lily, Lacey, Lucy, Ella,
A lot of Ellas.
Lila.
Okay.
That's three-quarters of my team.
That makes it tougher too when they
I'm trying to
sound
coach and
sound
I'm just
alike.
screaming out la, 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 la.
Yeah.
Lila and Lily. I could not get those two figured
That's
out to the end of the year.
Just call them their last names.
Lila in the corner, good in the corner. Lila in the corner. And Lila's next to me on the bench, like, Coach, I'm right here. I'm like, oh,
Lily.
Lily. You know who I'm talking to. That's why at the end of the year, I would be like, you know I'm talking to you.
Hey, number 14. Number 14. Go over there.
They don't even know what their numbers are.
Oh man. Okay, so it's baseball and basketball season at the same time.
Yeah.
All right, we can shake hands on that. And uh so yes, so we've got coaching stuff going on as we always do. And but look, the greatest event in sports is starting right now as we speak, actually,
Yeah, it
technically.
started today. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
going on right now. So it's Tuesday right now, and that's why we're doing the podcast today because this is kind of a special day. This is a special podcast for us.
Yeah.
Um, but Tuesday, today was an unbelievable game. Did you watch the 16v6, the two 16
I
seeds?
didn't get to see him play.
Full court pass, ball bounces over. Did you see the ending?
No. That was all during practice.
Tie game, 68-68, like 2 seconds left or something. Full court pass from out of bounds, a la, uh, I was going to say Grant Hill,
Great.
a la Grant Hill. Even further though, and it wasn't like 4 seconds on the clock, so Christian Leitner could do a little shimmy shimmy fadeaway. Ball's thrown up. Four people jump up for it. It touches all four of them, rolls into a guy's hands. He lays it up. They
Oh.
win 70-68.
Oh, and that's a perfect way to start the NCAA tournament because
Dude,
that's what you watch for.
yes, absolutely. Jalen Rose was love it.
I love that Jalen's
J-
doing games.
Jalen Rose is doing the pregame, halftime, postgame for these first four, and so's Jay Wright. So they
Oh, love
show
both
Jay.
those guys.
They go back and they show Jay Wright. They show both of them. They're sitting next to each other. They show him watching the play, and like Jalen Rose, because eyes get big, and he like you can tell he's like yelling like "whoa" or something like that, but it's in like slow mo, kind of quiet. And Jay Wright is just looking at the board, and you wouldn't know anything happened. You would have no idea. And they say, look at Jay Wright. Like you don't even know that something crazy just happened. He goes, I was looking to see how much time was left on the clock. So typical coach thing. And then they go
Yeah,
back to
he's seen it all.
so they go back to the Chris Jenkins 3
Mhm.
against North Carolina
Yep.
to win it. And that was like a quarter court shot, right? Like it was it was a logo shot, they would call it now, I guess.
Sure.
Um, and they show a side by side of the shot and Jay Wright. And he
He didn't
sees
react.
it, sees the ball go up, it goes in. He turns around and just starts walking towards midcourt.
Yeah.
And like 4 steps later, somebody jumps in his arms and he hugs him. He's like, "What? That was you just won the national championship
On a
on a
long buzzer shot.
on a last second three by your four,
Yeah.
by your monster four. What is going on?" Parker goes, "I don't get it. What? Why wasn't he excited?" I was like, "My man was just calm, cool, collected.
He
dude.
was. He
That's
was
Jay
excited.
Wright, baby.
Yep.
Trust me, he was excited."
He knows there's plenty of time after that to celebrate, go over and shake the other coach's hand. Yeah.
And in that place specifically, I remember right before that. I mean, there was only like 2 seconds or a second and a half, or it wasn't a lot. And right before that, a kid from North Carolina hit a huge three to give them the lead.
Oh yeah.
and the place was going crazy, and then there's timeout called, and the place is going bananas, and it's like this kid's gonna be remembered forever for hitting this shot. And instead, Chris Jenkins stands up and does it. So that could be part of it too, where you're like, as a coach, you're like, dude, I mean, this is just insane. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, you almost feel bad for the other team.
That's what I was just gonna say. Is you really, especially as a coach, because you've been through so much more than
Yeah.
the players at that point. It's like you understand how the other team feels
Oh yeah.
better than anybody, So you definitely. I'm sure you're excited, but you're also like, man, that's I've been on that other side of it. We were just on the other side of it 2 seconds ago because
Yeah.
that could have been the shot that beat us. And
Yep.
yeah, um,
Absolutely.
yeah. So anyway, yes, playing games are happening now, and it's exciting, man. It's fun. Did you haven't had a chance because you guys have a million things going on. You haven't had much of a chance to look at the
I have
bracket,
not.
but but you got one now. Um, anything you already know what's going on with Xavier. They play tomorrow in one of the playing games.
Yep.
They
Winner.
were you know as bubble team as you can be, and then got
Hotter than a
in.
firecracker at the end of the year. I
Yeah,
mean, just playing unbelievable basketball. Had a 14-point lead at one point in the second half against Marquette, and Marquette could not miss
yeah.
in the second half. And they still had an opportunity to win at the end. It's they're playing great basketball, and they get to play a Texas team that's really good. Texas is a good basketball team.
Yeah,
So that's going to be tough. Tomorrow, 9 o'clock, I believe you're going.
I'm going.
Good for you.
My first NCAA tournament game.
That's awesome. I've
Yeah.
never been to one either. Um, so winner of that plays Illinois. And to be honest, I would take the winner of that game against Illinois.
I have
Yeah.
a few times. Yeah.
Okay, then who's beat? You got them beating Kentucky. I want nothing more than Xavier to play Kentucky,
Yeah.
and not because I'm a Kentucky hater by any means. I don't ever remember Xavier playing Kentucky ever. Like I
Oh.
can't. I'm trying to go back in old tournament games. I don't remember Xavier ever playing Kentucky.
Huh. Yeah, that's interesting. I'd have to look that up too. Yeah, Kentucky is, under a new coach, so it's not necessarily the same old Calipari teams, but it is Kentucky, so they're going to have a lot of really good talent. Um, and it's hard to tell now too if you haven't watched them play, or if you haven't followed them. How many guys do they have from the portal last year? How many guys are
Yeah,
freshmen?
they're big. So they were big in the portal this year. They've kind of changed, gone towards what a lot of these other teams have done,
Yeah.
more bigger into the portal. But that SEC is.
That was incredible.
I
That
mean,
was the
to come
best
out of there
league this year.
22-11 is that's pretty good
That's
record for
Yeah.
going through. They've got 14 teams in it.
I was gonna say there are so many teams that were like 500 in their conference in the SEC
Yeah.
that are 6, 7 seeds, like not
Yeah, because
even
they're
even higher.
really good.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so speaking of seeds, I have one complaint. I have a definitive college basketball team now. Louisville is my team. It's because of Pat Kelsey, of course,
Absolutely.
but I watched like 12 of their games this year, and I watched parts of like 3 or 4 Xavier games,
Uh-huh.
maybe a few more, and I watched one UC game in full because I was at it, and then maybe maybe one or two others in part, but
So you
uh,
feel like the 8 seed is too low for them?
way too.
They
I
got to
was
play a good
so
Creighton team too.
surprised. I
A
know
good Creighton
they
team.
got to, and then they got to play Auburn
Then you got to play
right
the
after
number
that.
one seed in the country.
I
They're the number one, right?
That was,
Isn't
yes.
Auburn the number
I'm
one?
pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, Bruce
but
Pearl's got them playing out of their mind
oh my
right now.
God, it's that was the one thing that I had trouble with was like I thought they'd get a 5 or 6,
Oh,
and to see they got an 8 in like the worst draw. I mean, they get to play in Lexington, which is great,
sure.
but man, just they have two. They have a really tough game. Creighton's really good. You know about that,
Mm-hmm.
and and then if they win, they play the top team in the whole thing. That's great. Louisville is, I mean, just this what they've done. First of all, what Kelsey's done, he's got a lot of praise for it, and that's great. And he was the ACC Coach of the Year, very exciting.
How awesome is that, dude?
Oh, so cool.
I feel like he is in this like holding path right now. As soon as Sean Miller decides to hang it up,
You think
it's
so?
time to
You
come
think
back
he'll
to.
leave?
Why would you not? It's a way better.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, he might because I
You're
want.
not going to get as much money. You're going to make more money at Louisville than
Yeah,
you'll ever make at Xavier.
right. And that's the thing that would
That's why
like,
I mean that and Chris Mack's wife was from Louisville and all the other stuff. But
yeah,
my man made Chris Mack made like an extra 2/3, not quite double what he was making at Xavier, but
yeah,
a lot more.
yeah. But anyway, it would be awesome to see him come here and coach at Xavier. Of course, we've talked about that before. But anyway, so Louisville just is my team that I have watched the most this year, and I was really disappointed to see they got an 8 seed. I thought they definitely deserved better than that. But other than that, there are a lot of good, as there always are, a lot of good first round games, a lot of good potential games for the rest of the tournament.
Yeah.
And then of course you got you look at the bracket and then you start reading stuff and this team could definitely upset this team and the 12-5 and the 11-6 and then I don't 10-7s aren't even really an upset, but
No.
um
I mean, even 12/5s, I mean, they're like,
happened too many
I
times.
feel like 12/5s are like a 500 game over the last 10 years.
It does feel like that. But anyway, it's fun to see if you can figure out, predict who the and we've talked about the sheet of integrity in the past many
Yeah.
times,
Yep.
and you obviously have it. That's your first bracket.
I have not filled a single sheet out yet.
So Sunday night, I'm out. I'm out with some friends for a little while. I get home 20 after 10 or something like that, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting on this now.
Yeah.
Since then, so I was up until about 4:30 in the morning on Sunday night filling out brackets.
Nice.
Um and
How many are you up to right now? Do you
I
print them all
don't
out? I used to print
know.
I used to
I
print
used
all
to
mine out,
do that too.
have the two highlighters.
Yeah, 100%. It's exactly what we did.
Absolutely.
No, I probably have 10 or 12 men's brackets. I filled out two women's brackets. I filled out an NIT bracket. I filled out the new the college basketball crown.
Is that out? I thought,
Yeah.
is it? Did UC make it? Did they get their seven scholarships? Did they hold on to seven scholarship players? That's part of the thing to be in the crown.
Oh, I didn't
If
know
you're
that.
going to be in the crown, you have to hold on to at least seven scholarship players once your league tournament's over. So if you don't make it, they have the option to jump in the portal like
Right away.
immediately.
Huh.
There's already kids in the portal.
I didn't even realize that.
So in order to be in the crown, you have to still have that's part of the deal. What is it? Two they take two from the Big 12, two from the
Is that how they
Big
do it?
East. Yeah, it's guaranteed two from so that's the way they were doing it. So you
Okay.
guaranteed two because they were saying Xavier, like there was a real chance that Xavier and UC could play in the crown
Mhm.
if Xavier didn't jump in because obviously UC wasn't going to make it. That's
No, they weren't.
one of the
They weren't close.
worst ends of the year I've ever seen of a UC team. That was
They had a tough time.
terrible.
Yeah.
Moving on, it's that was something I heard. You had to hold on to seven scholarship players. There's a certain amount of big. How many teams are in it? 16.
Yeah.
I think it's like two from the Big East, two from the Big 12, two from the ACC, two from the SEC. Like they guarantee two from the main five conferences,
Yeah.
and then they pull six more from wherever.
The teams that are in that are, top to bottom, definitely better than the teams that are in the NIT.
Well, yeah, they're
And it
taking the
used to be.
next best now.
Yeah.
They now have the next best, and there's a there. It's not like the NCAA tournament or the NIT. The crown, you make money if you win.
Okay.
The teams make money now. It's like a share. Like if you win the whole thing, it's a share like 300 grand. It's a lot of money for the whole team to
Yeah.
split up. And then each game has a game check as well
Oh.
for the winner. So each winner of each game that has a winner, and I can't remember. I mean, it's not a lot. It's like 10 grand for the first round, and that's for your whole team.
This
So
this whole tournament is also in Las Vegas. So you're going to be giving all this money to these 20-year-old kids
Yep.
in Las Vegas. That's going
Yep.
to be something else.
Well, I don't think that it's like the game's over and they hand you $10,000 in cash and say split it between your team.
I figured they would give it to him in chips.
In chips,
Yeah.
just give it to them in chips and say go. Yeah, have fun at the MGM.
Yeah.
No, I think it's this. I would assume it all gets paid out at the end.
Mm.
I mean, that would only make sense.
Yeah.
They're not gonna just have. Well, I mean, they could easily just have that much cash on hand. It is Vegas, so. But I don't. Yeah, that's so that is something that it's to try to make it better because you have so many good teams that if they don't make the tournament, they just don't get in the NIT. They just don't get in something.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is because the coaches need to go on the recruiting trail right away. They need to get in the portal right away. Kids all jump to the portal right away. They're done with the season. It's over as far as they're concerned. If I'm not in the big dance, I don't care.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a cool deal. I think the crown could be something that can help save that last four out or first four out or whatever. You know what
Do
I
you
mean?
think so?
Because if so many of these teams just blow up every year now with the portal and all that, at
Oh, yeah,
least
yeah,
with
yeah.
this, if you didn't make the tournament because you have an opportunity to get paid, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
You can potentially keep a team together and make a run at something.
So you could, I mean, you could just wait a day or two, figure out if your team's going to be in there, go play, collect whatever money you get, and then immediately hit the portal after
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
I wonder how many teams are going to end up with 7 players with 2 guys on a bench. And no, I don't.
I mean, it's seven scholarship players,
Yeah.
so you might see some walk-ons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they do seven scholarship players because most teams only play eight anyway. I mean, most teams are
Yeah.
playing like eight,
Yeah. That's true.
and if they're playing nine, that ninth guy's not getting a ton of minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. After going through all we were talking before we started, but um, the different websites that have bracket challenges and all that. Um, I like I like ESPN's is decent, Yahoo's is decent because they have like the synopsis of the team,
Yeah.
who their best players are, how
Yeah.
they kind of did against, major opponents and they've got all these like statistics and everything and tell you like, they were 1-9 to finish the season or 9-1 or
Yeah.
something, little uh, things like that. And so looking at that, I did see, I don't remember who it was, but there are like a couple teams that said they play 9 or 10 deep. And I'm like, wow, that's okay. So they got a bench. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's always fun to try to figure out as much information as you can get about each game and figure out, okay, what are the most important things? Who has the best guards? Who has the most seniors sometimes?
Yep.
Who, just who rebounds the best, who has the best defense, who's, top 25 in offensive and defensive efficiency, both stuff like it's always fun to me to look at that stuff and figure out what's the most important to winning in the tournament.
Yeah. I love it. So Adam and I started this podcast with an NCAA tournament podcast. That's how we started it.
I feel like we did that twice.
We
Like when we
did.
first did it.
The
Yeah.
first one, the first does the first one count?
No, not really.
I
It
don't know.
wasn't the nosebleeds.
I
It
don't know
wasn't.
that Parker was alive.
No, he wasn't.
It was in my house. It was in that house. We did it in the basement, but I don't know that Parker was alive. He's 11.
Yeah, I don't think he
At
was.
that point in time, you and your brother were talking about a podcast, and I was like, "What is this? Something they spend you and send you into space?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even
yeah.
know what that
You got to take a
is."
rocket ship to the
Yeah,
moon
it
and do
felt
it up
like
there.
you just jump in a pod and they cast you out into the middle of nowhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, obviously it's a little bit of a joke, but I really had no idea what it even meant. Flashback 5 years later, 4 or 5 years later, maybe he was like a baby.
Could have been.
10 year, but it had to be every bit of 9, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And now 6 years in, 6 years we started it back up. We joked around about it all the time, and we were like, let's do it, and we'll do it the same way. And dude, I used to have we would do this podcast, the very first one and the next one probably. I would have a stack of papers,
Mhm.
and every team, I had a piece of paper for every single team, and it was filled with stats, filled with stats. We're about to do our podcast on the tournament. I haven't even looked at a bracket yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a different time. Yeah. We might talk about the tournament for about 5 more minutes and then
we
go on to something else
we
too.
grew up at a different time.
We grew up at a different time. Yep, yep. Little precursor.
Foreshadowing, if you
A little
will.
foreshadowing. Mm.
So do we want to go through the bracket here?
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to go through all of it, but whatever if something jumps out, I feel like, you know, say, man, this Auburn,
Alabama State.
Alabama State
Yep,
game
Alabama
is going to
State,
be,
full court throw. Uh 2,500 kids go to St. Francis. It's a private school, 2,500 kids.
wow,
Alabama State, 4,000 HBCU school,
wow.
4,000, less than 4,000 kids.
Hmm.
And they start off March Madness with what might end up being the best game of the tournament.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah.
that's really cool. That's what this to me. I hope this never leaves this. And I was this is actually interesting. Instead of getting too deep into the bracket,
Hmm.
let's talk. Let's have some conversations here.
Yeah.
Here's my question for you. Not maybe not my question, but when this whole thing started and they went to the that first game and they played it at Dayton and it was the last two 16 seeds and that's all it was. So they moved the field to 65. And it was like, okay, whatever. The day before you play it, you got to play the number one seed, whoever wins this game. So good luck to you anyway. When they expanded it to what it is currently, what is it?
68.
Yeah, so it's just four more teams, right?
Yeah.
So 68. When they expanded it to 68, how did you feel about that? And then how do you feel about it now? I feel like I was irritated, like, oh my God, what are you just gonna make this 100 teams?
Yeah.
But this, it works. A lot of times you get really, really good games.
Yeah. Usually they don't end up mattering, but it's more
Uh,
good games to
there are
watch.
plenty of 11 seeds that have moved on now,
Sure.
right? Like
Yep.
there are plenty, and there's because at some point, one time it was 8 seeds that were wasn't it? No, I think it's not always been 11 seeds,
Yeah, I can't remember. It might have been something different at first. I can't remember now.
but it's just,
Yeah.
it's very interesting to me. I don't mind it. Do you have a feeling towards it?
Not really.
Because 72 is coming next.
Yeah, maybe it is. I kind of it kind of doesn't matter to me either way, although if you're if it was 64, Xavier might not have gotten in.
It's not might not have. They would not
They would
have.
not have gotten in. They were one of the last teams to get in.
Yeah,
But so I mean, if your favorite team just barely gets in, you're happy about that 68, right?
absolutely.
So I'm fine either way, to be honest with you. If they went back to 64 and just said these are the teams who made it, sorry for who didn't make it,
Yeah.
you can feel like every year it's going to be like, people are going to feel like they should have gotten in and this other team shouldn't have or
If
whatever.
you
But
leave it up to the committee,
yeah,
if you leave it up to the committee, I mean, it's out of your
it's
hands.
just like in boxing. Don't leave it up to the judges,
Yeah,
right?
knock them out,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Uh, so that's all. That's my thing. I got no problem. I'm good with 72. I don't know that I'm good with a whole nother round. Like, what would that be? 128 teams. Is that right?
Oh,
64.
if they,
If they just had a whole another
yeah,
round,
I
it'd be
guess
128 teams.
almost everybody just makes it.
Yeah. So that's almost half. So obviously that's too many. 72 is a lot too. You got to find a way to make this, how to make it fit, right? In my eyes, I was listening to a guy today who was talking, and he said if they were to go to 72, so that is another four more teams. Then if you won your conference, you shouldn't have to play in the 16 seed, 15, the 16s, 15s,
Yeah,
14s. They shouldn't have to play any
I
kind of.
agree with that.
I think they should just be in the tournament.
Yeah.
All of the playing games should be 12s, 11s, nines, tens. Those that should be. You have a little play-in tournament to get into those seeds for all the rest of those guys.
Hmm.
But I think you take the. I think you take all those teams and you secure them a spot in that 16, 15, 14 area.
Yeah. Do you do just like a play-in tournament sort of for the last six or four or eight or
I
whatever
don't
it
know
is
that
to
you do
get
a
in?
full tournament for them,
Yeah.
but I think you take the next eight and you have four games. And maybe it's all four 11 seeds or all four 12 seeds or all four 8 seed. I don't whatever however the committee puts them out, right? And that's I think a lot of that is based off of how many teams sneak in, right? How many, how many teams get in that weren't going to that steal a bid.
Hmm.
Where apparently this year was a lot of chalk happened. There was maybe only one the way they were talking. There was only like one team that so if you didn't make it this year, then you really didn't make it because like they took as many of the bubble teams as they possibly could. They had no extra sneak in teams. Does that make sense what I'm saying? By sneak in teams? Like if you have a conference where you're only going to get one
Hmm.
and that team definitely deserves it, like you have one great team,
Yep.
but then they lose in the conference uh, championship game. So now they have to put two teams in that steals a spot from a bubble team.
Right.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep. Yep. That makes sense. Yeah. I don't. They can adjust it any of those ways that we just talked about, but it's uh yeah, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be the tournament the same way, kind of no matter what, unless they did something super drastic. But they're never gonna change that because it's the most exciting month of basketball of sports probably
Yeah.
every year, right? Um, and that's what I was gonna say is when we were talking about the crown, the basketball, college basketball crown or whatever, for the teams that are in it, it's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's ever going to get much attention because
Oh, I
just like the NIT, like yeah,
yeah.
people aren't going to care about it.
The way I talk about it before when I was talking, I don't think this is ever. No, I don't think it's ever going to get huge.
Yeah,
But you'll get decent teams in it. You'll get draw because of the money that'll be involved.
yeah. I picked Butler in my bracket
Did you?
to win the yeah,
Okay.
the crown.
All right. Man, I've got to get on. I got to get my ass on my. I got to get on point, man. I'm missing out on all this. Usually, like you said, by now I've sat on selection Sunday. I will sit there. I don't even care about the selection part. I like the next 3 hours afterward.
Yeah,
That's my favorite. Listening to
absolutely.
all these guys that watch 300 college basketball games a year talk about these teams.
Yep.
And like I remember we would do this podcast. I'd write down people's names that I heard somebody else say, like Clark Kellogg or whatever the other guys are on there. Like I'm jotting down that name, like, watch this guy for this 15 seed. You want to see something special.
Yeah.
He's one of the top 10 guards in the, and I jotted down, like, all right, I'm gonna write down this dude's name. We go over it all, and it's like, all right, well, Hampton, Hampton State, just it's probably they're probably gonna lose, but I'm telling you right now, Jehovah Jahama is gonna kill in this game, and you're gonna go, oh my God, that dude belongs in the league.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now he just enters a portal and plays for Duke next year.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Oh, was I had a thought a second ago.
Sorry.
No, no, you're fine. Maybe it's gone. But
Okay.
yeah,
How about this?
yeah.
How about this? Cooper Flag gets hurt.
Mhm.
Okay. Doesn't play in the ACC championship game. They still won.
They did. They beat Louisville.
They beat Louisville. And they beat North Carolina without him as well, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep.
And that was a 1 point game.
Yeah. When
Um,
they were up 20 something,
oh
25 or something
geez.
early, and Carolina came back.
So you're Cooper Flag.
Yeah.
You're 18 years old right now.
Hmm.
He is a young freshman. His twin brother is still a senior in high school. which is these things are
Oh yeah, that's weird.
that reclassing that you can do in order to jump early. Um, so with that being said, the amount of money in college basketball right now,
Hmm.
if you're Cooper Flag, and let's say the tournament doesn't go the way you want it. Maybe you're injured because they say he's going to play, but maybe you tweak your injury a little bit harder or something else happens. The amount of money that's in this, would you consider staying at Duke and throwing out another year? I mean, what, you'll be 19 when you graduate or when you get out next year? Like, that's still going to be one of the youngest kids in the draft,
Yeah, I
if not the youngest kid, even then.
yeah for all the bad stuff that has come along with all the NIL and all the money in college basketball now, that is one of the good things is you don't feel like you have, especially if you come from, I don't know what his background is or where he comes from or whatever, but if you come from, especially if you come from hardly anything, you don't feel like you have to go to the NBA
Yeah.
if you're good enough now, right?
You've made unbelievable money to send back home and get your family out of wherever. And I mean, there's teams out there that aren't in the tournament that have four people on the team making $2 million a year. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think people think everybody in college basketball and everybody in college football are millionaires.
No, that's
That's
not.
not even close,
No.
right? Like, are they making 30, 40, 50, maybe $100,000 a year? Yeah, there's that. I think that's more happening than $1 million contracts being handed out.
Yeah. I really don't know how much anybody's making, but I mean, you hear enough to know that there are certain, a Cooper Flag is going to get,
Is he worth
almost anything he wants,
is he worth
probably.
$10 million?
I mean, in the NBA is.
That's
Um,
so that's what I'm saying. Like, is it worth it to Duke to give him 10 mil?
at Duke,
Yeah, to come back.
I don't know. I don't,
I
it
don't know. You
depends
don't know what
on,
their NIL deal. You don't
yeah,
know how all that works,
it
but
depends on
it's
how much
Duke.
money they have. Yeah,
It's Duke. They've got money. Everybody
for sure.
graduates from Duke is like a lawyer.
Yeah.
That's like, isn't that what they do? Is aren't they one of the biggest um,
Oh,
lawyer school? Isn't that their like what they're known for?
maybe.
I'm pretty sure that's like what they're known for.
That's what Jay
And
Billis did.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what they're known for. And in like you have to be incredibly smart to get through
It's
Duke as
definitely a
well.
big academic school for sure. Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure that information is available too, but I don't know.
Once again, this is so NIL is a good thing. It's a good thing for these kids, but they do need to regulate it.
Yeah.
It needs to be regulated. I mean, Dave Portnoy said, I'll give up to $5 million to get the best quarterback in Michigan, to get the best quarterback to come to Michigan. I'll write the check right now.
Yeah.
I have $5 million to the next kid that comes to, like, that's insane,
Yeah.
right? Like, some kid's going to sign to go to Michigan and make $5 million
Yep. From a booster, not
from a
even from
booster,
their regular
from a
whatever.
booster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Xavier, right now, they have what they call the final 2%.
mm,
It's what it's called.
okay.
And it's their NIL pledge.
Oh,
And like they send it out. I get something in the mail monthly asking like to sign up for a what do you call it when you donate
donation?
monthly and everything? No, just like monthly, like a reoccurring.
Yeah. Yeah.
They like want to my dad's like, oh, I give him like $5 a month. Well, yeah, all
Sure.
right. Hey, to them, they're like, if I can get $5 from 5,000 people, we're looking at 25 grand. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's that's not right. Yeah, it
Uh,
is. No, that's right.
what, did I not even catch that? What
I
did you
was
say?
trying my math. I was making sure my math
Oh,
was
okay.
right.
Okay.
It was.
Okay. Um, yeah, you went to St. Dominic. Of course your math is right.
That's,
Um,
I don't know if that's right.
no, you did. You went to St. Dominic. Okay, so
Only for 8 years.
that's true. That's true. After 8 years, you were like, I'm transferring. transferring to Elder.
I know people that went longer. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And I ain't counting kindergarten. Kindergarten.
Oh man.
Shout out Mike D.
You know what's going to be interesting is at the end of this tournament to see the teams that made the Final Four, maybe the Elite Eight, or actually even right now, it would be interesting to see a bracket and have how much NIL money each team has
Yeah,
on their roster. You know what I mean?
that would be cool.
Uh, and then at the end of the tournament, if it's Duke and Auburn and
Yeah.
it's not going to be North Carolina, but Kansas or whoever, the ones that you would think of
Texas is
as having
always
the
going to
most.
be in something like that. I mean, they talk
Sure.
about Texas being one of the biggest schools in the country, and
Yeah.
their NIL fund is enormous.
Yeah.
But those are also big SEC schools,
Hmm.
big football schools.
Right.
So how like you're splitting money with a lot of people.
Yeah, but you have more support, I feel like. I mean, those are the biggest fan bases too.
Yeah.
If there are people are donating to that, then you're going to have more money just from that as well. Um, so I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with that, to be honest with you. But it would just be interesting to see because is that going to make like the competitive balance stuff they have in some pro sports like is there going to be revenue sharing eventually? Is
Hmm.
there going to be something like that to make it a little bit more balanced? If like, one of the top, if an ACC, SEC, Big 10, Big 12 school every single year for a while, those are the only guys who make it to the Final Four. Maybe that's already happening, but um, Big East, I should have said. Um,
Look, here's the deal. I get it. There's the big four. They're the big four of the conferences now. But in basketball, you
it's
have to
five.
make five.
It's Power Five, right?
In basketball, you have to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. It's that's just interesting to me. I would like to see. I'm gonna have to do some research, see if that's available somewhere. How much money each school has
Each
in this
school has.
tournament?
That'd be
Yeah,
very interesting.
yeah,
Very, very interesting.
yeah.
Well, let's do this. Who's in your final four?
It's
Are you chalk?
pretty close, I think. I, you know, Duke is like the maybe the most popular. Actually, it is. I think I saw the most popular pick for people.
31 and 3.
Yeah,
Florida is 30 and 4 and probably not probably in the most difficult.
they are the two. Yeah,
And then Auburn's 28 and 5, Houston 30 and 4. You've seen Houston play.
yeah,
Is Houston a legit number one seed coming out? That Big 12 is not, I mean, don't get me wrong, the Big 12 is good.
yeah.
Or the Big 17 or whatever they really are. It
Right.
might be more than that. Are they in the 20s? SEC's
Mm,
in the
yeah, I
20s
don't
now, aren't
know.
they?
Are they? Yeah, I mean, I know Big Ten's like that too. It's
Yeah.
it's the big whatever now. Um, but yeah, they are. It's a good league. Um, but yes, I think Florida and Duke are the two that are being picked by the most amount of people. I think I saw. It seems like there was a game probably a month ago. I watched Florida play somebody good, and the first 4 minutes or so of that game, I was like, "There's no chance there's anybody even close to as good as Florida." And I think they either ended up losing that game or or they just barely won or something like
Yeah.
that.
And Florida's been the hottest team in the world
And
right now.
yeah, they ended up having a really good year. But it's that's the other thing too. Like I was kind of saying before, is you kind of feel like there's maybe a little bit of an advantage for teams who have the most guys that have come back, and the most like I mean there are more
Juniors
teams
and
now.
seniors. Now you're getting juniors and seniors on these one and done schools,
Yeah,
right? Kentucky, Duke, which Duke always had a decent amount of kids stay, but they were pushing more towards that. You saw more and more of those come through. And now with the way the portal is and NIL, now they're all getting these, they're getting, the best player from Maryland is now on Kentucky's team
right.
the next year. And it's like, well, you got the best player from a middle of the road ACC team. Like that's awesome for you. And
Yeah.
he's a junior now. Like that's
Yeah.
you guys just got that much better.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of a fun thing. Like, obviously the portal's a big problem for coaches and everything, but that's another thing that's good. I think you can see some of the like the especially like the blue bloods and the teams that it's fun because everybody knows who this team is and they have coaches that have been there for a long time and stuff. Those teams now having those upperclassmen, it's just at least more interesting to see because for the longest time it's Kentucky played with almost all freshmen most of
Yeah.
the time,
Yeah.
and Kansas and UCLA and they were doing the same thing a lot. So it is pretty cool to see that. It is, I mean, you're also gonna, if you're a huge fan of those teams, you might have a junior or a senior, and they transfer in, and it's exciting. They're not gonna be even a sophomore or junior. They might not be here next year.
Not guaranteed. Although I will say, if you get like we've got this Ryan Conwell,
Hmm.
who's a junior, who came through the portal, and this kid is a walking bucket. This dude can shoot from anywhere. He's a lefty and is just just unbelievable. And over the last few years, we've had plenty of one like portal guys that were really good, and that was it. This is a junior, right? We've been getting guys that are seniors. You had the senior transfers and all that stuff. When you're allowed to be a grad transfer enough to sit out, we started getting a lot of those. And you just keep working the system. Now it's the portal. You have a run with a you get a kid like that, Ryan Conwell. Just use him as an example. Xavier makes a little run in the tournament, maybe makes it to the Sweet 16. And Bastille, who's this, 6'11" monster who got hurt at the beginning of the year, is able to come back next year.
Hmm.
Now you lose your Fremantle and stuff like that, but you've got to now like these guys are talking as a core like, hey, we got four guys here that have all done this. I'll be a senior, you're going to be a sophomore, you're going to be a junior, da, da, da. Where we can we've got the same core of guys that we had and we're getting Bastille back. He's better than this. What what can we do? Let's stay.
Hmm.
And I think what happens is you get kids that are really good that are okay basketball players, and grow a little bit and get better at a McNeese State or wherever, transfer into a Indiana and Ohio State, and then they're juniors, and it's like, hey, I can make it with this team. Like,
Hmm.
I'll stay for 2 years here.
Yeah.
I think you're going to get more of that. I think you're going to get more of that because
Yeah.
there's still only 2 rounds in the NBA draft.
Yeah. That's the
That's
thing too.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's all there is.
Hmm. Yeah, that still might be, you still might get a lot of one and done, to be honest. You still might get a lot of one and done guys because
I
um
don't think you'll get as many. I don't think the
maybe not
one
as
and duns
many.
will be as many because
Right.
I think there's more money in college basketball. So you don't have to just leave to go make money. Like it's like, okay, well, I'm really good. I've got a ton of potential. The NBA will take me. I might have to spend a year in the G League. I might have to spend a year on the bench. I'm going to get drafted in the end of the second round, but I'm going to be a one and done and I'm going to go make money. Now you can go, I can develop more in college than I can in the G League.
Hmm.
I'm going to stay in college for another year, make $2 million, be well off, big man on campus, hot the hottest commodity out there for another year, make my stock even higher, and then go.
Yeah.
I think you'll see less. Listen, you're going to get five.
The I
You're going
think
to get 5 or 10. They're just that's just
I think
they're
the
just
lottery
unbelievable.
picks, the guys that come in
Yes.
that are going to be NBA lottery picks
Yeah.
next year no matter what,
Yeah.
play your freshman year wherever you want
Go do it.
and then you'll probably go to the NBA. Yeah.
Right.
But anybody beyond that, late first round or second round, yeah, a ton of incentive to stay in school
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all interesting.
And
So
I think guys like you got the old heads like your Coach K's and your Roy Williams and the guys that have gotten out and some guys like um, Michigan State
Tom Izzo.
Tom Izzo, um, and guys like Rick Pitino, like Tom Izzo wasn't a fan of all this stuff, but once you learn how to play the system, it's
Hmm.
like anything else.
Yeah,
Learn how to play the system. I feel like this might be a little bit easier to
really.
recruit. Hey, we got this much money. I'm Tom Izzo at Michigan State. We make it to the tournament. We're gonna make a run. That's what we do. I will be the best coach for you. Come here. Here's this guy's coming. This guy's coming. This guy's coming.
Yeah,
We're gonna be unbelievable. Here's your $1.6 million. And let's go.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Coaches are talking about because there have been more coaches who have left too because of this, but
yeah.
coaches still talk about I have to I have to have a phone call with a kid and the first words out of his mouth is how much are you going to pay me or something like that.
How much
If
are you gonna pay me, and am I gonna start?
Yeah, and
Well, here's the deal. Here's the thing, though.
you
There's
don't have a
more.
choice. You have to.
Yeah, but there's more kids in the portal now in different places that are really, really good basketball players
Hmm.
that don't have to sit out a year. Know they can go somewhere. You can get somebody that's got more talent than a freshman coming out of high school because he's a junior and been playing forever and is bigger, stronger, maybe not as athletic. Maybe the potential's not there, but he's a smarter, better player, better
Hmm.
team player. You don't, somebody calls you and says something like that. Okay, this ain't the place for you.
Yeah,
Find somewhere to go. It's all good.
especially a place like a Michigan State or
Yeah.
something where you have all the options.
Yeah. I'm gonna take this guy. And I'll let you know too. The best thing those coaches could do is go, I'm gonna let you know I didn't even offer you anything and I'm not gonna tell you anything because that's your first question. I'm going to this guy. And that was his third question.
Yeah,
Right. I mean, because it's gotta be a question. And it should be a question.
that's the reason a lot of guys are in the portal
Yes.
because they can make more money at
Because they
another
can
school.
go find somewhere to make
Yeah,
money. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, like just being a Xavier season ticket holder and seeing all the things they push so hard. Like NIL's huge. Like if you
Hmm.
don't have an NIL fund, whew, like you're just not going to be able to sign players. You're not going to be
Yeah,
able to get them. So, I mean, it's big. It's big. The
yeah,
good thing Xavier has is we're not sharing it with football,
yeah.
right? Like, yeah, there's
It
some
is a
NIL, but
basketball school. That's what it
yeah,
is. A basketball
you're
school.
gonna have to give it to the baseball, some baseball
Yeah,
and
yeah.
soccer and all that stuff, but you don't have to. You're not. Your main focus is your basketball team.
Hmm.
That's why the Big East will still be able to compete without being a football conference.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a huge reason with NIL and transfer portal. I think the Big East will be able to stay. I mean, obviously, they are. They've got the third most teams and they have the least amount of teams in their conference. So if you go percentage of your conference, the Big East probably has the highest percentage. I don't know. Maybe the SEC still does because it's 14 or whatever they have in there.
yeah.
Is it 14? Is that right?
They made the tournament.
Yeah.
I remember hearing before before they said the tournament, there might be 14 teams that get in it. I didn't count them to be honest with you,
I
and I
just
didn't
saw
see the
I saw
breakdown.
some I saw a breakdown of the top five conferences, and Xavier Xavier Big East had four. Big East had four, but it was like 14, 7, 5, 4, 4, 4, something like that is how it broke down. We've only got 10 teams in our conference. That's it.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah. That's the
so.
that's the other thing too is schools have changed, conferences have changed so much in the last few years.
Mhm.
I'm blown away that UCLA is in the Big Ten and a couple other
Weird,
teams
isn't
like
it?
that. It's like
It's so
that doesn't make
crazy.
any sense at all. So
Arizona and
yeah,
like
it's so strange. So I was thinking, oh well, I'll just count the SEC teams, but I'll be like, I'm pretty sure they're still in the SEC.
yeah.
Did they go to
Texas is in there now. I know Texas is, but there's another
see? I don't
team
even
that
I
that
didn't remember
yeah,
that.
Texas is an SEC school, right? We can try it. Arkansas,
Yeah.
um, I is Texas Tech an SEC school? I'm not sure.
I
Uh,
thought they were Big 12, but that's another
Missouri's
one.
Big Ten. I'm just
See,
looking at
Missouri's Big
yeah.
10. They used to be were they Big 12 before?
I don't. I could be wrong. I don't
See,
know.
I
I
don't
could be
know.
wrong. What's Oklahoma now? Is
God,
Oklahoma SEC?
I don't think so.
There's some like I don't even know what the Like it's ridiculous to not be able to know that. Like
I know, but
we grew up. I can tell you where everybody used to be:
yeah,
Auburn, SEC,
yeah.
Louisville, ACC, Big East, and then before that, whatever it was. Then they were a later add to the Big East, and then the ACC,
Yeah.
Creighton, Big East, Michigan, Big Ten, Texas A&M, Big 12. Um,
But before that, Creighton was in the whatever the
well, yeah, I'm just going off like when they were still regular conferences, when the
yeah.
Big East first started as just a basketball school, and it was like we still had our regular conferences.
Mhm.
Yale, obviously Ivy League, Ole Miss. Ole Miss is SEC.
Mhm.
Iowa State, Big Ten, Marquette, um, Big East, New Mexico. I don't even know. Never mind. Maybe I'm not as good at this as I
Yeah,
thought I
that's
was
the
going to
thing.
be. I'm trying to do old ones.
I
That's
know,
I'm going
yeah,
by the old ones.
but it's because at some point you hear that they've changed or they were going to or maybe or whatever,
Yeah.
and so it's all jumbled in
And
my
then
head
like the
now.
Pac-12 had two teams in it, Arizona and Colorado or something weird. Like, how do you only have two teams?
I don't know. The Pac-12, it was the Pac-10 and then the Pac-12 and
Yeah.
now it's the Pac-2.
They don't even do that anymore. Like it went from the Pac-10 to the Pac-12 or whatever. They don't do that with anybody else. The Big Ten's got 15, 20 schools in it.
Yeah.
The Big
Yeah.
12 is insane. You don't even play all of them.
If I'm in the Big Ten, I'm like, am I one of the Big Ten? Or what's after that? Am I one of the little five or something after that?
All right, here we go. SEC. One of every five teams in the NCAA tournament is a conference member.
Sheesh.
14 all-time record.
Wow.
Insane. All right, you ready?
Hmm.
Florida,
Hmm.
Oklahoma. I was right.
Oh my God.
Oklahoma, Alabama, Vanderbilt, Texas, Kentucky. It's only giving me that. Oh, this is saying Florida, Oklahoma. So this could possibly happen in the second round. Florida could play Oklahoma, Alabama could play Vanderbilt, Texas could play Kentucky. All of those things could happen. Like they could, because they try to make you nowhere near, not nowhere near, but split the conferences up so they don't see each other until like Sweet 16.
Yeah.
They can't even get them past the first round without doing this. Uh, how do I even find out who they all are? It's not even telling me who they all are. That's insane that they can't even put them all on here. Anyway, and then sorry, that's just amazing to me.
That is amazing.
Let's see here. Okay, North Carolina. Okay, so this is just takeaways. Where's the breakdowns? Sorry. I thought
No, it's
this was
fine.
taking me straight to what I wanted it to be, but it's not. Continue on.
There are a few like the Big East was actually down a little bit this year. Um, but like a team like St. John's is had a really good year,
Yeah, great
but
year,
their conference was down just a little bit, so it's hard to tell. Like they're a really interesting two seed. They could make it to the Final Four, or
dude. Saint. I'm gonna tell you right now, St. John's is good.
oh yeah, I know, yeah, they can make it to the Final Four, or I feel like they could lose in the third, in the Sweet 16 or something,
Right.
But um, just because strength of schedule is a huge deal too, but also in some ways, a lot of things are thrown out in the tournament. It's just sometimes you just catch lightning in a bottle, or you just shoot the lights out or something like that, and that's why a Hampton beats number two whoever it was. Um, so I don't know, man. I Tennessee is really interesting to me as a two seed. I think I picked one of the brackets. I picked them to win the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah. Um, but I've filled out so many brackets. I've got
All right.
every number one seed and almost every number two seed winning it.
SEC has 14 schools.
Mhm.
The Big Ten has eight.
Mm.
Big 12 has seven. And the Big East has five.
Okay.
I want to write this down. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna keep this page.
Say
I'm
that.
gonna keep this page open, and then I'm gonna
Hmm.
go to another, and I'm gonna look up how many teams are in each conference.
Okay.
Because I want to know. Um, I want to know the percentage of your league, how the percentage of your league did.
Hmm. Well, 14 is almost all of the SEC, right?
Yeah, basically.
8 is if they got 15 in the Big 12, well, or Big 10, I mean, we don't know for sure if that's right though, but yeah, God, that's something else. 14 teams.
Which conference has the no, this is not what I want. Maybe this is what I want. All right, so let's take a look here. Okay. The American, the ACC. Okay, let's look at so ACC. The ACC currently has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 teams. 17 teams in the ACC, and they have less than five. We can show three more rows. They have the ACC has four teams. What I say 17?
17, about a
So
quarter of them,
yeah, so
a little
yeah,
less.
just a little less than a quarter. Four divided by 17. You're at 24%,
Mhm.
23.5% of that conference. All right. So then we go to let's take a look here and go to what's another one? The Big 12. This is gonna be a big one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 teams less than the ACC.
Mm.
So the Big 12, what did I say they got in? How many did they get in?
Was it 7, 6, something like that?
Um, Here it is. Big 12 had seven.
Mhm.
So let's go seven divided by what?
16. It's about 48, 43.
43.7. So 44%.
Okay.
My whole point is I want to see where the Big East is, damn it. You know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm a Big East guy. I want to know how many teams are in the Big East. And I'm looking at football right there. So I can say, um, this is taking way too long.
Football.
Who plays football?
Big East football.
Oh, that's 2011. Um,
So in 2011, the Big East had, no, I'm just kidding. The Big East had 11 teams.
Sorry.
They get another one every year, so they're at 25 now.
The Big East Conference was. Everything is was. I don't want was. I want what they are right now, damn it. Let's see. Here
Put
we
in
go.
bigeast.gov.
I got it.
All right.
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. Come on. Give me the Big East standings. I clicked Big East standings. Don't stop working for me now.
Mm,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Wi-Fi not connected.
What's going on with this, man? I don't understand why we're having so many issues with this. Click. Are we moving now? No, we're still not.
Mhm.
I don't know. Anyway,
Well,
what
it's interesting. Look it up.
this was the worst segment I've ever had in my entire life. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know. Do you want to go through this or are we done?
Eh, who do you like in the Final Four?
Duke, Auburn, Florida, Houston.
I'm with you. I can really see an all number one
Absolutely.
Final Four.
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
gonna say it's gonna be uh, Louisville, Xavier. Um, who else is who? What other
Kentucky.
Kentucky local teams?
That's it, bud. Is
Yeah,
there is there any of the other crazy
Akron.
ones? Is Zach? Oh, yep, there's
Akron's
Akron.
in there.
I mean, I guess that's local. It's 4.5 hours
It's
away,
in our
but
state. Yeah.
man, you don't have any of these other ones, do you? No, NKU didn't make it.
No,
Um,
you don't have a lot from Indiana, I feel like. Uh,
yeah, that's it.
yeah.
That's
Well,
rough. All right. So, um, What do we got here? What's going on?
I mean, you could have an all number 4 seed Final Four.
You could. And if you did, you'd be looking at Texas A&M, Arizona, Purdue, Maryland.
That sounds like what the Final Four is going to be.
Sounds like it'll never happen. Never ever happen.
All right.
Go. I'm just playing around for myself now.
Okay.
You do your thing because I
Okay.
really don't know how many teams are even in our conference. I think it's 10.
My thing is enjoy the no matter what no matter what you know, no matter what you think you know,
11.
even the even the
Half.
the J
Half. Half.
half. That's pretty good. Um, the Jay Billises and the you know whoever Jay Williams and anybody whose name is Jay, whatever they say, whatever they think is going to happen, even they're wrong all the time in the
Yes.
NCAA tournament. It's just that's what makes it so special, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm looking forward to it.
Very excited. You know what that kind of reminds me of?
What's that?
Do you remember like there's so many people right now mad about uh what happened for their team, like West Virginia and teams like that.
Mhm.
Like it just reminds me of Mad About You.
Oh yeah,
You remember Mad About You?
yeah, I do. Paul Reiser,
Paul
is that who it?
Reiser. Who else was in that? Was that
Uh,
Helen Hunt?
oh yeah.
That brings us to our next segment. This is
Oh,
the worst ever.
what's the segment? How's it related?
Mount Rushmore.
Hey, Rushmore of what could that possibly? Oh, the Mount Rushmore of Mad About You episodes.
Oh, that could be good.
I've never watched the show, but
What?
yeah,
Dude, when I was a kid, I liked Mad About You.
yeah.
Yeah.
I remember it came on after something I watched, but I don't remember what.
I think it
I
was after Seinfeld for a year or two.
oh maybe. Um, okay, so I never watched Mad About You, but Helen Hunt was in that, and she was in Twister, I want to say, and Helen Hunt. Helen Hunt. Let me tell you something. We had so much fun last week, and
Much
listen,
better than the start of this
I was gonna
podcast.
say if you if you've made it through this so far, it's a miracle. But um, don't listen to this episode. Go listen to last week's episode. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Listen to this one too because it's about to get a lot more fun. Because the Mount Rushmore of Helens, I thought. I mean, we were laughing about Helen Keller, and that's what sparked this. But
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, there's hardly any Helens around.
Dude,
You know, you're not gonna believe you're not gonna believe my Mount Rushmore.
I'm so excited. I had a few that I was just gonna pick just because I was like, I don't even know who that is,
I
but
know
why not? Let's do it.
there are some
Yeah.
actresses that are named
How
Helen.
about
I
the
don't.
humanitarian or who, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How do you not know who that is? I mean, come on. Um, so can we both agree that Helen Keller is without a doubt the number one Helen on the Mount Rushmore?
Easily.
I mean, she can't see,
Uh-huh.
she can't talk,
Yeah.
and she can't taste.
She can't taste. We established that last week.
Pretty sure she can't hear.
She can't feel.
I'm pretty sure she can't smell.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I don't.
That's from COVID.
That's
She could smell originally. She can't now.
she used to could,
Yeah.
but now she can't.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
used to
Right.
could. Yeah, but she could play the piano.
And she was an author, apparently.
How are you an author? What did you write?
I don't
How did you write?
did you have a
Do you just got a little polka dot and you just
yeah, you just
braille
brailled it?
everything?
Yeah, maybe.
Oh my God.
Oh
That
no, she
would
can't
take
feel.
four. She
She
can't feel.
so she doesn't know braille
What is
either.
she even what is she doing? What was so special about
She couldn't
Helen
like
Keller?
dictate it to anybody because
Nope.
she couldn't speak.
Could she even do that?
I don't know.
Did she have a voice box?
Um, I
Was she born with a voice box?
Hmm.
I would
I
love to hear. Do they have? Is there an interview with Helen Keller?
wasn't she alive before interviews?
Yeah, way before, and
Okay.
she couldn't hear,
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
so
That's true.
she couldn't,
Or see
she
herself.
couldn't speak
Yeah.
or taste.
So
Would have been
So no, there's no
weird,
interviews.
weird interview. A very, very weird interview.
She was the most high functioning vegetable there ever was somehow.
Oh,
All right.
Helen, good old Helen Keller, HK. We'll call her HK
HK.
for the people out there. Born 1880,
Oh,
passed away at 100%. Could have done an interview 1968.
wow.
This woman couldn't even. Well, she couldn't taste, so she probably ate healthy.
That's true.
You know what I
I'd
mean?
only eat broccoli
I
and
got
stuff
yeah,
if I.
give whatever's the most healthy. Just
Yeah.
throw it in my gullet. I can't taste it. I'm
Yeah.
good. She lived to be a ripe old age. She was an activist.
Mm.
Okay. I feel like I feel I feel like putting the term activist on there. That's I mean that's pushing it.
I feel like you could probably
What
just say that about anybody.
what is she an activist for?
For people who don't have any senses, probably.
How do you know she was an activist?
She would because she raised
Did she
awareness.
tell you?
She raised
She
awareness for
didn't
people
tell
with no
you.
senses.
She didn't tell you.
No, but she was at all the fundraisers probably.
Yeah, they wheeled her out there.
Somebody had to take her.
She thought she was at a Reds game.
Eh, she doesn't know what a Reds game is, so
I know. She just wanted to go see Johnny Bench, man.
um, yeah.
Good old Helen Keller. I'm going to tell you. Um, did you look up Helen Keller at all?
No, I, I
I didn't
I just
either.
went by what we by what we said last week. um,
Okay.
I feel
Okay.
like I watched
So
like a movie about her or something in grade school.
I'm sure we did.
Yeah.
American author. What did you write, Helen Keller?
Hmm.
Somebody said, "Hey, write me a book." Guess what? She doesn't know you said that.
Right. Yeah.
And how so here's my thing. Even if you can't speak,
Hmm.
you can't see and you can't talk and you can't I already said speak. You can't see, speak or hear.
Yeah.
And I think that's legit, right?
Is that
That's
right?
the actual
That's what I
legit
was
thing,
gonna
right?
try to find. Yeah.
Uh and disability right should we get it deaf and blind after an illness 19 months old.
Okay.
Well, if she's deaf and blind at 19 months old, she can't talk either. Because if you
Blind.
can't, you can't.
So maybe she could communicate sort of with her voice, but maybe not. I don't
She
know.
was blind and she couldn't hear.
Yeah.
She was 19 months old when she lost her hearing and vision.
Yeah.
So
So
she couldn't talk either
yeah. Yeah.
because you can't hear yourself. It's you and you're not listening. You can't. So my point is nobody can read at 19 months, right?
Right. I mean, I could, but most
So
people
you
can't.
can put braille in front of somebody that is blind and can't hear. You can put braille in front of them, but as far as they know, that's just some crinkled up paper.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't say feel that that is the letter A. You can't say that because
Right.
they can't hear.
That could just be my mom's acne,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yes.
I'm touching the ripples on my genital. I don't know. I feel like there's braille on your scrotum. I feel like if somebody ever wanted to learn braille, they could just like feel around a scrotum and
You might want to get a doctor's appointment together.
no, I mean like, when it's really cold out, you know what I mean? You just got a fresh little trim and you're like, all the what do you call the little what are those called? Goose pimples.
That's what I was gonna say. You could
Yeah.
that's on your arm
Sorry.
too.
Maybe your arm too. I guess I just went to a different place. Sorry.
No, I
I'm
know
just
what you're
trying to
saying.
teach people how to read Braille, Adam. That's all I'm doing, man.
Look, there's only one way to do
I'm not St. Rita School for the Blind, man. I've been there for years.
it. All right. Helen Keller, number one. Who you got? Who you
Yeah,
got
I
next?
mean, absolutely. Helen Keller's number one. She's trying to smell this tree in this picture. She darn near ran into it. Her
There's a picture of her trying to smell a tree.
but to like, I mean, maybe I gotta and I heard she's amazing. I heard this woman
Yeah,
is something crazy.
obviously she's
She's,
amazing. She wrote a book and activated stuff.
yeah, yeah.
And she couldn't taste anything.
Was an author, an American author, disability rights advocate, and a political activist.
Oh,
Whoa, 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 whoa. And
whoa.
lector? What is a
Oh,
lector? Isn't that
a
like
speaker.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Isn't that what that is?
I think so. Yep.
Could you imagine having to go to one of her speeches?
Yeah. I need a
Look,
translator.
I've been at one of her speeches. I used to go to Uncle Paul's bowling every week. You know what I mean?
You know what? That might be true. Like you and your dad and your mom, your sister could understand just about anything Paul said and way better than anybody else. Maybe like her mom, maybe she just made noises and her mom
I
knew
could,
exactly what that was.
in
You
all
know?
honesty, I can understand. Or did I say Ellen Keller was a
She
Jew?
was Jewish, yeah. Maybe she was. I don't know. She could have been also. Um,
Was Helen Keller
d-
Jewish?
did Helen Keller write the Diary of Anne Frank?
Solid braille. She rewrote it. She rewrote the Diary of Anne
She
Frank.
translated it to Braille.
Well, if we weren't going to hell before this
Oh man.
episode, we're there now.
Thank goodness she's been gone a while. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't want to. She might. Did she have kids? I feel like she might have had kids.
What?
I think she. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I can tell you right now.
Well, she couldn't smell the
Uh,
body odor of a gentleman, so
she was 5'7".
hmm not bad.
Professions: teacher,
Hmm
linguist.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean,
What?
mhm.
I don't even know what an orator is. Or
A
an
speaker.
okay. This, she's
So,
got seven. She's an orator, a linguist, and a lector.
yeah, that's like what we do on our resumes. We like we we find different cool ways to like make the same thing sound good.
Oh my God. Mm. Okay. Siblings, parents. I don't see
No.
anything about kids.
Oh, so she's single, huh?
Hey, well, not
Hey.
anymore.
Oh,
If unless you want to go to Washington National Cathedral and check out her resting place.
sure.
So how did nobody lock this chick up? That's what I want to
Yeah.
know.
I mean, she must have been making money with all those
All
speaking
those
engagements.
speaking. There's got to be. There has to be. 1968 she died. There's somewhere out there. There is her. I mean, that's what she did for a living.
Yeah.
I mean, somewhere out there she was.
There's
She's
a reel to reel
yeah.
video thing with her on it. Yeah. Maybe she spoke really well and just figured out how to do that. I don't know. She had to have.
What phenomenal handwriting for somebody that can't see. Look at her signature on Wikipedia.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's better than mine.
it's way better than mine. And it's like perfectly in line. She couldn't even see.
Sure.
Uh, actually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Was this like one of those like my mom was blind. Like my mom could have been called legally blind because she was like -8, but she had glasses that made her be able to see. Now and then she had
Mhm.
corrective surgery to make her be able to see just fine.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that what we're talking about?
Yeah. She
Like
was
deaf,
like,
like did they just give her hearing aids and all of a sudden she could hear? I'm like, well, she's deaf and blind. And it's like, yeah, but I'm having a full
But now she's
conversation with
not.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm having a full conversation with her, and I just put up four fingers, and she said four. So
She's got glasses and hearing aids. She's a regular person.
she's normal. Only problem is she can't smell.
Yeah, can't smell a thing. Matter of fact, that's how she died. Carbon monoxide or carbon. Yeah, no, carbon monoxide's odorless, isn't it?
I think so.
I don't know. Anyway, that was gonna be a joke, and then it wasn't because I don't know anything about carbon monoxide.
That's all right. We don't have to. None of this makes sense. It
No,
doesn't matter.
no, we're just now learning about Helen Keller. We've been talking about her for 2 episodes now.
Oh, in 1999, Keller was listed fifth
Ooh,
in
good.
Gallup's most widely admired people of the 20th
Gallops? Is
century.
it a horse magazine? A horse magazine rated her the fifth most important person.
Can we just put like at the bottom of this skip skip
Yeah.
through the first 45 minutes?
I'm just gonna
Can we do
I'm
that?
just gonna delete it. It's just gonna be Mount Rushmore comedy.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we both agree Helen Keller.
Number one. Matter of fact, I'm putting one period next to her name.
There is nothing higher. I only know one other Helen. Just so you know, like I typed in
Yeah.
popular Helens and stuff.
Uh,
I only know one other Helen.
Helen Hunt.
Yeah.
I've,
Helen
I've
Hunt's on my list.
I've heard the name Helen Mirren, which is another actress. But I don't know who she is or anything or what she was
Okay.
in.
Okay. She's a movie actress. I
Yeah.
see her. Let's take a quick look. Mirren. Hellemmir. Oh, there she is. What is Helen Mirren been in? All right.
Yeah.
Ooh, she's an old Western kind of lady, it looks like.
Oh.
Um oh, she was in 1923.
Oh, never saw it.
Isn't that
Oh,
like
she was in
isn't that the
just
show?
just like I was in 1998.
That was Helen Keller. Popular name back then. So 1923, I believe, was a TV show that came out that was supposed to be like a prequel to, um,
Yeah,
the
something.
ranch show that Kevin Costner's in.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, Red with some popular people. Excalibur, 1981. I'm not knowing Red and Red 2. So Red had Morgan Freeman and
yeah.
yeah, it had some popular people in it.
Before you go too far down the Helen
Sorry.
Mirren hole, I don't have her on my list.
Okay. I don't have anybody else. I only have two people on my list. So
Okay, I had three until I remembered one more Helen, like almost on my way here.
oh, okay.
So I just barely got four.
Okay.
So, so we're on the same page here.
All right. Well, then you're gonna have to go. I gave my two. Who's your third? Because
Okay.
I might be stealing them.
Okay. Um, one of them I think you will add to yours. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
save her for last though. So I have Helen Keller. I have my dad had an Aunt Helen. I have a great Aunt
Oh,
Helen.
you have a great Aunt
A
Helen.
great Aunt
Oh
Helen.
man, that doesn't count. I can't use that one.
I figured you probably wouldn't take that one because you didn't know her. I didn't know her well, but my dad told me she was a great lady.
Sure.
Um, and so I'm putting my great Aunt Helen on there. I am putting so one of my best friends growing up was Matt Vale. You remember Matt
Oh,
Vale.
absolutely.
And he was very close with his Aunt Helen.
He had an Aunt Helen.
Aunt Helen
Man, you got two Aunt Helens.
called her Aunt Hell, and that was like
Oh, how
we
cool
were
is
like
that?
yeah,
Yeah.
we were like in first grade. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you said that word. Um, so I have Aunt Helen Vale. Maybe that was her last name, but anyway. And then the last one, the one you might add to yours.
Okay.
Up to you, of course. Helen from the Cluck Bucket in Tommy Boy. The the Helen, the waitress,
The
in
waitress.
Tommy Boy.
Yes.
You look like a Helen. That's one of my
I
favorite
like that
lines. It
one.
doesn't even
I love that one.
make
No,
sense.
that's a good one. Here's one that is the number two on the list of famous Helens.
Helen of Troy.
Via famousbirthdays.com.
Okay.
Helen McCrory.
Yeah, actress as well, maybe.
Yeah.
I remember seeing her name on there. I don't know if she is though.
Um, Me neither. Hugo, James Bond, Skyfall, Richard. I can't put her on there.
Yeah.
I can't put her on there. But you know what? The other one that was on here, quite a, obviously, um, would be Miss, Mrs. I don't know. It's mythology, so does it count?
Yeah. Yeah.
Helen of Troy, who was renowned for her exceptional beauty in her abduction by Paris of Troy,
hmm
which sparked. Do you know she was abducted, and this started one of the
The
most famous wars
yeah,
in mythological
I
history.
saw that exact thing you read way over here.
The Trojan
Trojan
Wars.
War.
Helen of Troy.
Mm.
Man,
I wonder if Helen of Troy knew Jesus of Nazareth.
that's a good question. I mean, I feel like they're in the same time frame.
They're both mythical. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm
hey,
just
listen.
kidding. Listen,
JC's a real dude.
I know. I know.
We don't, I mean, his real name was of Bethlehem, I think, instead of Christ, but
He
Jesus
was
of
of
Bethlehem, right?
Nazareth.
Of Nazareth. Oh, he was born in Bethlehem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is it Bethlehem or Bethlehem?
Bethlehem. With
Bethlehem?
an E, yeah.
Is it an E?
Yeah.
So is
But
Bethlehem.
Ham was one of his favorite.
Or is it Bethlehem?
It's no, that's out east
Yeah.
around here. No, it was Bethlehem, but people confuse it because it says in the Bible that his favorite meal was ham.
That's where I got
Ham sandwich.
Bethlehem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
Ham
So,
sandwich.
so he's Jesus of Nazareth, right? He didn't have
Yeah.
a last name, right? Did people have last names back then? There was
Um,
only a few people,
Christ.
but he didn't be Christ until much much later in life, right?
Oh.
How was he born? Was he born Jesus well, it wasn't Joseph
No,
Christ, right?
Of Nazareth is the middle name. Jesus of Nazareth Christ.
Christ. Okay,
Yeah.
so does that mean Joseph's name was Christ?
Yeah, Joseph Christ. Yeah, Joe Christ.
JC. So JC was the son of JC.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Ah, I
He
never
did they
knew
did God
that.
did that on purpose.
Ah, it made it easy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that the second or the third or a junior?
Well, by initials, I guess it's the second, but
Is
they
it
didn't
the
have the
second
same
or a
name.
junior?
Well, they didn't have the same name.
Okay, okay, you're right. Well, if we call him JC though.
Sure. Yeah. JC, that was one of the Backstreet Boys.
Uh
JC Chavez or something like that.
Charlemagne.
Charlemagne, JC Charlemagne. Yeah.
There's somebody named Charlemagne though. That's a name.
Charlemagne the God.
Oh, no. There's a new actor guy
Oh.
named Charlemagne.
Oh, Chalamet. Timothy
Chalamet?
Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy
I
Chalamet.
don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. He's the newest version of Willy Wonka.
Oh, he played Willy Wonka. He's played in a couple things, hasn't he?
He's like the biggest guy now, I feel like.
He is dating not a Kardashian, but the half sister,
Oh,
Kylie Jenner.
Kylie Jenner?
Yeah. They were
Oh,
at a
really?
tennis match and she was trying to get all kissy kissy and he's like, "Hey babe, I'm watching the match." I was like, "Atta boy,
Yeah. Thank you.
atta boy, hey."
Thank you.
He's hooting and hollering, yelling down at the match, and she's trying to take a picture. She said, "Make eye contact with me." He's like, "Okay," does that and turn. Oh, dude, it's great. I was like, "This is my new favorite guy."
Yeah. Don't come on.
We're in the middle of a like,
There's a time and a
yeah,
place.
yeah. I ain't got time for all this
Save that
PDA.
stuff for at home.
I'm watching Roger Federer beat up on
Thank you.
Enrique
Andre Agassi.
Iglesias.
Yeah.
Oh, Andre Agassi. That's what I
Yeah.
meant to say. I
Yeah.
thought about the same person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think you may have joined Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras and Enrique Iglesias.
Yep. So anyway, Helen of Troy was born in Sparta. She died in Rhodes. Poor thing. That's a
bad
long,
place to die.
long. Holy cow! Holy cow! Do you know who her dad was?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Who?
Joseph of Troy.
Otherwise known as Zeus.
Oh yeah, he fought Hulk Hogan in No Holds Barred. And then he went, and then he lived on on Friday's street, on
Yeah,
Craig Street on
on
Friday.
Friday.
That's right. Zeus.
Zeus.
Tiny Lister was her dad.
So, all right. So maybe Helen of Troy and old JC have more in common than we think. They're both the children of the biggest gods of their
Wow.
religion,
Yeah.
right? Like Zeus is the main dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
And God, he doesn't have a name, does he? Is
God,
Jesus his
God,
dad?
God, Sham God.
God, Jesus' dad doesn't have a name. It's just God, right?
Yeah, but I think God is an acronym for guy on. I don't know. I didn't have a good D right away. Sorry.
Never heard it as an acronym. You know how the kids are? They'd be like TY,
Yeah.
JK, GOD. Like what? GOD? What kind of response is that? Good old
O's
days.
got to be up.
Yeah, yeah. The good old days.
Yeah. God of Bethlehem.
Got it. Oh, that little known town right down the road
Yeah, it's right next to Bethlehem.
from Bethlehem.
Bethlehem. Oh,
Okay.
come on.
Full
Jeez
brother
Louise.
Pollux, lots of people. So they don't know if Lita or Nemesis was, oh my God,
I don't
Nemesis
either. I don't know either.
was the bomb. Zeus getting it on, man. Zeus got all kinds of kids. How many kids Zeus has for real?
He's the Nick Cannon of gods.
uh, so many they don't even put him on his Wikipedia page.
Wikipedia does not have enough bandwidth for all of his kids. Zeus, dirty dog. Golly.
Oh my God.
Okay.
In case you were wondering. Hermie, he's dude, he's no joke. He has 12, 13, 14, 15. He has 16 kids. I think Nick Cannon might have more. Oh,
Yes.
12. He's got 12 kids. Who are the 12 kids of? Oh, I mean, Hercules, right? I mean, obviously.
Mhm. Hercules, Hercules.
Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. Okay.
He was a bearded wrestler in the 80s or 90s.
Oh my God, so many. Okay. Okay. Man, did I tell you I've been getting into so on Netflix? You got Netflix, right?
Hmm.
You know I watch Raw. I love Raw.
Right.
I still watch every episode. I've been watching a little more SmackDown than I was before. Um, and Raw has a thing called the Raw Vault. Did I tell you about this?
Either you or your dad did, because your dad said he's
So
been watching it.
Dad's no, no. Dad has been on. He found a box of VHS
Oh,
tapes.
that's right. That's right.
We used to record every Monday Nitro.
Same.
So he's got like Randy Savage and all this stuff from the. So I go back and I find this thing on Netflix. So Raw started in '93,
Okay.
and it's like the most popular episodes. It's like the biggest episodes of Raw,
Hmm.
and it goes from like '93 to 2001. It's got 10 to 12 episodes in every year, and then it jumps to like 2022 or something. Like there's a big break in between. But I'm in like '97 now. And like I just got past where Shawn Michaels won the belt.
Mm. Oh yeah,
I
you
told
did
you
tell me.
about that. Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
did.
And it's dude, this is like oh Mankind is coming out now and like
Nice.
all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this is when I'm starting to watch it again. This was when I got back into it.
Same.
This is the time.
Yep.
My sixth grade through like eighth grade, I was a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
So John Cena's music comes on last night, Monday Night Raw, and my son comes running down the steps. When he was a little kid, 7 years ago, he used to watch John Cena. He loved John Cena. And now he's he like doesn't watch it with me anymore. But I'm thinking he's in sixth grade. I was in sixth grade when I started watching it again. John Cena's music comes on. He comes running downstairs. I was like, that's Hulk Hogan. That's Randy Savage. They're in their mid 40s, like late 40s. That's where John Cena's 47 years old right now,
Wow.
in incredible shape. But like that's how Savage and Hogan were when they went and did the whole NWO deal, right?
Yep. They
And
might have been 60 then. I
yeah,
don't
they might have been. You're right. But legit, like Razor Ramon and
Yep.
Diesel, and I never watched it in those like 94, 95. I didn't watch anything then.
Mhm.
So like actually seeing Razor Ramon come up and how he like getting to see Razor Ramon and getting to see Diesel and how he started and winning titles and all that stuff. And then just the way Raw was formatted, they would put their biggest match first.
Mm,
Like people would win titles to start Monday Night Raw.
that's crazy.
Yeah. They're getting back into bigger stadiums. They're going into stadiums doing big things now. But this is, I'm loving every bit of it, dude.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It is awesome.
Mm.
Stone Cold's back now. Like Stone Cold is Stone Cold. And it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So you get a chance and you want to just have some fun, check it out.
Let me know what
If
episode.
Triple H is like this. You know how Triple H started as Hunter Hearst Hensley,
Yeah.
whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He's like this prissy guy, wore fluffy button-up shirts and like fancy pants and had his hair, and he would come out all proper like Hunter Hearst him. And then, in the next year, so in this year, DX has started. So he's gonna turn into like a
Mhm.
totally different kind of cat
Yep.
real quick. And the 1, 2, 3 kid is about to be X-Pac right now.
New Age Outlaws. Yeah.
By the
That's
way,
good stuff.
the New Age Outlaws, by far my favorite. I introduce people to the New Age Outlaw introductions. That's
Ladies
what
and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages.
D Generation X proudly brings to you the badass Billy Gunn, the road dog Jesse James, the New Age Outlaws. Oh, the road dog.
That's
So the
fun.
road dog, Jesse James, he started with Jeff Jarrett as just like his little goon. He
Mhm.
wasn't even a goon, he was like a roadie.
It is
And
fun.
that's where he became the road dog. He was a roadie for Jeff Jarrett, the singer. And that's how he kind of became the road dog, Jesse James. And then
Crazy.
yeah. And then Billy Gunn was in the in the Smoking Guns. And I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm looking all these guys up, like, oh my God, this is how he started. It's unbelievable, dude. It's awesome.
It is fun to see guys that you remember as big time guys,
Mhm.
and you go back and find out when they started and see pictures of Stone Cold Steve Austin with long blonde
Long
hair.
blonde hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that's funny.
I'm loving this. Sable just came out.
Oh, Sable was big.
Mark Marrow,
Yep.
the wild man Mark Marrow. So we're gonna get into some crazy Sable stuff because right now
Mhm.
she's Hunter Hearst Helmsley is like trying to figure out why she's with Mark Marrow and not him. So this is about to get and she definitely has not married Brock Lesnar yet. So
Mhm. Yeah. Why would she do that? Anyway,
they've been together for over 10 years.
yeah,
Long time.
that's crazy. She could have had a shot with me, but
She sued the WWE while he was the champion.
yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a little weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, babe, when you go to work, go talk to Vince. Let him.
That was a big part of Vince McMahon's thing. People sued him all the time, and then he brought them back later to
Yes.
work for him
Yep.
again.
Absolutely. Because it was a great
Nuts.
line.
Yeah.
Because it was a great angle. You
Mhm.
can work the angles. He didn't care. If he could work an angle and make money, he's working an angle, man.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I still love it. I don't even care. I still love it.
Yeah. I would definitely have. I don't watch the new stuff, of course, but I would love to go back and watch some of those old Raws
They are way
that
better.
we used
It's
to.
I'm telling you, wrestling, like just the actual wrestling is unbelievable now compared to
Mhm.
back then. The athletes that are in it now, like what they do is crazy.
I know. I've I've gone back and noted like watched an old Hulk Hogan match, and you're like, This dude has zero athletic ability.
Yeah.
He's just like a giant guy who did leg drops, and that's all, pretty much. Or slaps, and he just like,
The chops, dude,
yeah, he
all the
just knows how
chops.
to.
There's so
The
many
chop.
chops. And the chops are still big now. Chops are
Right.
still big now because you can make that slap
Hmm.
noise and it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
And it leaves a mark, right?
Hmm.
Like these people have to like I've heard somebody say something one day. They said, "Are you hurt? Are you hurt or is it uncomfortable?" And like you got to be able to like position yourself that way to be a wrestler. Like
Hmm.
everything they do hurts.
Yeah.
Has to hurt, but they do everything in a way to where it's not an actual hurt. They're just uncomfortable. Like I could smack you on the arm right now and it's gonna be uncomfortable for a minute.
Hmm.
But are you hurt?
You look like you're posturing to do it.
Posturing? Is that like an ostrich?
You're just adjusting in your seat, and
My
you're like
back, my
getting
back,
the.
dude. I could not wheeled up to hit you right now if I tried. My back hurts so bad.
Does it?
Parker has been playing me one-on-one basketball every day for the last week.
Nice.
He beat me twice, legit. So I say legit. Let me let me let
No,
me
not.
let me preface.
Okay.
I could back him down and score anytime I wanted to.
Hmm.
I'm just talking jump shots and I do take him now and then because I like if he gets up a little bit like and I'm not quick. So he takes the ball, he gets a rebound, kicks out to that side, and he's got a decent little shot from inside the 3 point line, which is all our driveway is. And he makes it pretty well, which are twos somehow. I think I told you this. Somehow a free throw line is a two at my house. Play by
Okay.
ones and twos, but that's the farthest away from it. So,
Sure.
so the corners are legit like threes, but the free throw line for some reason is a three too. So whatever. It's Parker's rim. It's his rules. So
Yeah.
unless I'm out there, then I say no, no, my rules.
Yeah.
But so the other day, I'm up 20-15. Okay,
Okay.
so we play make it take it, and I'm up 20-15. And Aaron's outside, and I said, "Hey, babe," and I blew her a kiss, took a shot, and missed. You know what I mean? Just trying to be funny. We have been working so hard on using your body to shield the ball and taking the ball to the basket and head fakes and releasing high and doing all these things because he's not going to be a tall kid. Like he's decently tall now, but he's not a tall kid in his grade. He's like a tall three or you know what I mean? That's about
Yeah.
where he's at right now. Like so I worked on him with this so much that he is finishing outside of his body and I am jumping as high as I can jump. I the crap out of him twice because I could not get to the ball and he's making them. And then he'll stop and head fake, and I jump out of my shoes trying to block it, and he lays it in. And I'm like, why don't you do this in a game? Well, they don't do what you do in a game. Yeah. Yesterday, that today we went outside and played, and he's telling the kids on the like all these little tiny kids just every time Parker walks out, it's weird. Our driveway just fills up with kids the second we walk outside. I don't know where they all come from, but they all playing. But when we walk outside, for some reason, our house has to be where everybody's at. Me, Parker's like, I just want to play 1v1 with you. I just want to play against you. These guys always want to play. And I'm like, well, we'll let them. So today I was like, guys, kids keep coming up. Can I be on Parker's team? Can I be on your team? We're finishing this first. So we got a crowd
Yeah.
right after baseball practice. There's kids everywhere. There's probably one, two, three, four, five, including mine, six. There's probably seven kids
Wow.
all around, and I'm playing hard D, hard. Like he's taking that ball, he's taking me to the right because he can't finish with his left outside his body yet.
Sure.
He can finish with his left hand on a layup, but he can't do that, protect the ball and get high with it.
Take,
He's not,
yeah,
yeah, he's not
take.
strong enough to get outside his body and be able to finish.
Sure.
His right hand, he's got no problem. So he's taking me to his right. Now I'm not letting him, I'm not riding him. I'm sprinting to get in front of him and I am stopping him. And he's got, now he's got the head fake and he gets me on a head fake twice. And I'm like, all right, now I'm not going for the head fake. And he's like, oh, and he knows it. So I just take the ball from him and I'm like, that's it. I literally just grab it from him as he's trying to figure out what to do. My man hit three deep deep twos because I wasn't guarding him. I'm like, you ain't hitting that. And I turn around, boom, splash, splash. I'm like, jeez, Pete. 18-18.
Oh,
I'm like, this is good. Because Aaron's like, stop. I back him down, get a couple points. And Aaron's like, stop, stop. Like, come on. Take a jump shot. He's taking jump shots, dry, whatever.
you're like, he can try to back me down if he wants.
I have been teaching him to use the arm bar, right? Because he's
Yeah,
trying to push on me.
yeah.
So I was trying to teach him to kind of use the arm bar, and he's doing better at using his body to push. A couple times he was doing a decent job. So I'm like, man, I had to take care of business today. 21-18. Took care of business
There you
tonight.
go.
I wasn't letting it happen.
Went on that 3-0 run,
Dude,
huh?
I went straight down, straight down. Now I would do like a little fadeaway from about 3 feet, but it wasn't like a 15-foot fadeaway, right? Like, oh, son of a gun is getting like I don't know the first time I beat my dad, but I'm pretty sure I beat him when I was like 6.
What?
I'm just kidding. Dad was never a basketball player. All right.
Uh,
He just wasn't.
yeah. If he, I feel like if you guys went to the park and he was throwing you pitches and he wanted to strike you out, it would have
Uh,
taken you a long time, probably.
yes, absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Totally different, right? Like your dad could have beat you probably all the time until you were very,
Just
very
about
old. Right.
everything. Yeah.
My dad is like a one-hand shooter. Like if he's behind the three-point line, it's that both hands are on the ball. And before he starts going up, it's only one hand that's on the ball the rest of the shot. That's how
Well, he watched Oscar
Pops.
Robertson, I'm sure. That's how Oscar
How
shot.
Oscar shot. And that's probably where how he got it. But um I remember I beat my dad the first time. I'll never forget that. I don't know that he ever could beat me after. Once I beat him, it was like I don't know that he but I could play defense. He couldn't dribble. I put Parker in a spin cycle. He put me into one today. He hit me with a crossover. I almost fell. It wasn't even that good. It was slow.
Wait. You have a ring camera?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it'd take you a minute to find it, but I'm sure I could find it on there.
If he actually does, whenever he does, and you actually fall, I gotta see it.
I'll send it to you. I will send it to you. You whole lot of me missing easy little fadeaways today, man. I missed a bunch. And then he gives me the left. He's like, "You got no left." And then I'll go left and lay it in with my right hand. And he goes, "You got no left." And I said, "I don't need a left against you. I finished with my right hand on the left side." He can't. I'll block the hell out of that.
Better learn how to use your left because I'm blocking
these
your
little
right
kids,
hand.
these little kids play. They're like, you don't block his shot when we play, and I'm like, man, this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I gotta show him. I gotta let him know. I gotta let him know.
Oh
I
man.
told you I beat. It took everything I had the day that I beat Parker, my nephew Caden, and my nephew Owen in the same day, and my heartbeat didn't come below 125 for another 3 hours. Aaron was like 20 minutes from taking me to the hospital. That's how old I am. I was going hard. I was going hard. It's
Oh,
3-on-1, man. That ain't easy to do. It's a little court though, so makes it a little bit better.
that would be tough. Owen can shoot. I've seen him
Yeah.
play. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
My whole goal with that is let him shoot the outside shot. Nothing nothing inside.
yeah.
Nothing
Oh
inside.
yeah, it's I mean
I got every
you're
rebound.
playing a one zone.
Yeah, I got every rebound.
Sure.
Nobody's none of those guys are getting a rebound over me. I'm fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
No.
Helen of Troy and Zeus somehow got us here.
Yeah.
You know who else? Um, funny Helen story.
Hmm.
Um, Felipe Esparza,
Hmm.
not Esperanza,
Hmm.
like I thought his name was. Esparza. Um, I wish I had my notebook. It's in the car, because that's where I watch everything.
Only at red lights.
Only at red lights. I pause it in between.
Yeah.
Um, Man, I hope work never. I got new work. I'm about to get a new truck, and apparently I've got a
Oh,
sensor on the truck that like picks everything up.
wow.
I'm about to be in all kinds of Guy was like, "Yeah, this thing knows when you pick your phone up off the dash," and I was like,
Oh, wow.
"Well, my phone rarely gets set down, so
Yeah. Chris, why were you at 8 gas stations today?
I would never was at a gas station. I just went off the rumble strip right next to the gas station, came back on the road. It picked up I was at the gas station.
Ugh.
Anyway, yeah,
I
Felipe.
needed a Reese's outrageous at every one of them. That's
Yeah,
why I stopped.
exactly.
Yeah,
Not the nutrageous, the outrageous.
yeah, outrageous. Felipe Esparza.
Yes, Felipe. Um, yeah, Felipe Esparza.
Yeah.
So obviously this guy's got like his own kind of following, right? This is like a special kind of following for this guy.
Mhm.
One of my very first notes that I wrote down, I think it's the second thing I wrote down because the first joke wasn't bad. And I think the second thing I wrote down was, is this dude on coke? I wrote it
Really?
down right away. And by the end of it, he had quite a few jokes talking about how much he loved cocaine. So he may have been.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's true.
He's an antsy little
He moved
jitterbug, ain't
around
he?
a lot.
He's an
Yes.
antsy little jitterbug. I know plenty of dudes that dabble in the snow.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm telling you, they all look everything looks exactly like that.
Could be, man. Could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was real. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, I did notice him moving around. That's how I felt I was in the one show that I did that one time. I just felt like I kept like shifting back and forth, but he's like I mean he's moving
Yeah.
the whole time.
Yes. Yes. So that's the first thing. That's the first
Okay.
thing I thought. Um, so yeah. Yeah, what do you think about what was this called? Raging Hard or
Ra
something like that?
Raging Fool.
Raging Fool.
Yeah, Raging Fool. Um I I almost I did compare him in my mind to Big J Okerson, a standing Big J Okerson. Just because
What
so
before this or
no,
after
like
watching this?
during it, just because of course like body type is one thing, um but he just the what he talks about. Like it felt like so much of it was
Okay.
sexual, so much of it was a
Yeah.
lot of cursing, a lot of like just that part
Over
of it.
the edge sexual, like weird sexual, not over the edge, like weird sexual
Yeah,
stuff.
and
Yeah.
so much of it, and that part of that too. I was like, all right, man. It's. I mean, I think for a long time now in comedy, it's been like it's kind of hacked to do the hump in the stool thing or the hump in the air thing. He did that so much. I'm
Dude.
like, all right, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You can still make the jokes and not do that the whole
So
time.
many times.
So anyway, that part was a little goofy, but he did say, and I'll be honest with you, I was distracted for a while I was watching this, so some of it I can't even remember, um, but there was enough stuff in there that I was like, okay, that was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny.
No. Yeah, I agree with that. I had laughter. There was laughter that would come out. I mean, was it the whole time? No, some of the stuff I'm like, that's
Mhm.
just a story I've heard my buddy tell the exact same story. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And he thinks it's funny too. So
yeah, yeah, yep. A lot of stuff about his wife and just yeah, he of course he does the he's Latino, so he does the Latino white people, black people stuff and
Yep.
all
Yep.
that. That's usually good stuff. He had some okay stuff there. Um, yeah, there was enough funny stuff that I think I kind of feel like maybe I overscored it now, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like if I went back and watched it, I would pick up even more, and I'd probably be okay.
Man,
But
I wrote a few jokes down, but it's all in the car. Sorry. Um, but like when I would laugh, I would write something down.
mhm.
So, and
only
I
at
got,
only
I
at
mean,
red lights.
little, yeah. I got a little notebook like the size of your phone. That's
Yeah.
like the size of the notebook I have. I filled that page,
Okay.
right? And there's probably, 12, 13 lines on there. I probably had six good jokes that I laughed at. Um, but there's a lot of that. Like I found myself like getting lost in what the heck he was even talking about at some points. I don't
Maybe
even know
that's
what's
why I got so easily
I
distracted.
because
I just
it was easy to be because I don't even know what's going on and I didn't even know what was going on in some of it.
Mhm.
And I found myself coming back like, okay, oh no, okay, yeah, that was actually kind of funny, right? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. It was tough for me. And we did this dude the first time, and I feel like it felt like it was the same kind of thing.
Did we do his last special too?
Yeah, I feel like we did
Did we?
because he had
Maybe we
two of
did.
them. He had the special, and then he had it in Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
And we did
Did
the
we do
one.
that?
I'm pretty sure we did.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Okay. Probably
I
right.
mean, we've only done 150 of these,
I
so.
know. I can't remember everybody.
But anyway, yeah, let's go at the same time. Ready?
Mhm.
3, 2, 1,
3.5.
3.1. There you go. We're both over three.
I felt. Oh,
What happened?
I thought I
Is
thought that
this
was coming from that
is the
wall.
floor caving in? Is the floor caving in or the ceiling caving in?
Neither.
Oh, that was.
Oh, was that that?
I think it was this. I think I leaned back
Oh, okay.
and it
God,
probably sounded like the wall. Yeah.
that sounded like the wall.
Anyway,
Sorry. Um, all
didn't
right.
mean to scare you.
Yeah, see, I feel like no, that's very easy to happen. Um, yeah, I feel like 3.5 is too high, but maybe I go back and watch it again and
I mean, like I said, I had a few good laughter points, but it's a lot. It's
yeah,
just a lot. There's a lot in this. There's a lot, and I was lost for part of it. So,
no,
not terrible.
it's all right.
Watch it, enjoy it, whatever. I'll tell you what we're gonna do for next week, and I know that you're gonna hate it. Not hate it. I don't think you hate Bert Kreischer.
No, I don't. He's not. I don't think he's as funny as a lot of. I think he's like
Again,
way more rich and famous than a lot of people who are way
who are
funnier
way
than him.
funnier, right?
Yeah,
But
but
he's got a gimmick.
yeah.
So if you're funny and have a gimmick,
Mhm.
then boom, you're gonna kill it.
I feel like Shane Gillis is the same way, to be honest with you. Shane Gillis is very funny.
Whoa.
He's definitely funnier than Bert Kreischer.
100%.
But there are a lot. But the
Like where people are saying that he's like top five all time or something. Like
yeah,
that's not.
and the oh gosh, what's it called with the Greek thing with in colleges, like the frat guy kind of thing. Like I feel like it's almost the same kind of following with Bert because it's big on drinking,
Yeah.
it's big on calling stuff
And the
gay,
funny thing
you know.
is I feel like neither of those guys would even enjoy hanging out with frat guys in any way, shape, or
Yeah,
form.
probably not. But
But
that's
enjoy
like
the
it
living hell
feels
out of it.
like that's their biggest
But
following, right?
sure, I get that. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know, I have a hard time with that. But anyway,
And it looks like he's taking his shirt off again.
yeah. I
Ugh.
mean, when is that gonna? I mean, he's finally in way better shape than he's been in for a long time, but
He's still big boy.
he's still big.
He still looks really, really similar.
I'm not upset about that. I saw that on Netflix and it just came out today or yesterday
It
maybe or
was
something.
last 2 days. Yeah,
Yeah.
the last couple of days.
I'll watch it anyway, even if we weren't gonna do it,
Right.
just to
Well,
check it out.
yep. We are going to do it.
Good.
And it is BURT. Let's see if we can get it pulled up here. For some reason, nothing's working. Um, come on, here. Wait a minute. Where is it?
Bert
So we already
Kreischer.
saw Razzle Dazzle.
Yeah.
We already saw the machine.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Hey Big Boy.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Secret Time.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the new one? Oh, this is it. Lucky. God, he's
Lucky,
got that
yeah.
many specials.
Yeah.
Razzle Dazzle, The Machine, Hey Big Boy, Secret Time, and he had one big one right before that that wasn't on Netflix.
Oh,
I feel like maybe I'm wrong.
maybe.
And then now he's got Lucky. So this is his fifth Netflix special. My man's doing well.
He's doing very
My
well.
man is doing well. So yeah, Crazy Pants, and I mean he might be in a little better shape, but he's still Burt Kreischer. Losing 45 pounds. So he lost 45 pounds. Good
Yeah.
for him. Parenting advice from Snoop Dogg.
Mm.
Knows he's the luckiest guy around. Oh, I hate to hear that. In the bio, it
Yeah.
says Burt Kreischer knows he's the luckiest guy around, and he's recounting his blessings.
We'll see. See.
Oh, that already annoys me. You know how much I hate comedians talking about how great their life is. I feel like the worst comedy special ever is a comedian talking about how great they are.
Hmm.
The
Well,
best
he
comedy
says
is
how lucky he
self-deprecating.
is. Maybe that's
He's
different.
gonna make fun of himself and he'll
Oh
make
yeah,
fun of Leanne and he'll do all that and that'll be good stuff.
100%.
I still feel like he's good and funny. Like I laugh at Bert pretty well. Bert laughs at himself more than anybody does, but
Yeah. Yeah, he sure
that's
does.
another thing that can be annoying with a comedy too.
Yeah.
The cabin, though, the cabin was legit
That was
hilarious.
very funny.
That was
I
awesome.
loved the
I
cabin.
feel like Bert Kreischer could be a phenomenal, uh, like a Steve Harvey or a guy that does game shows or host things. He's just funny on the spot.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we got Bert Kreischer, Lucky, and now I have to do a Mount Rushmore. Every year during March Madness, I always want to do something with mascots, but we've done everything there is to do with mascots every year during March Madness. So, uh, here's what we're gonna do. We are going to kind of make a U-turn, and we are going to do. It's not a U-turn. It's actually very similar to what we just did. It's, in fact, it might be on the exact same line.
Let's do
Maybe
it.
not even a U-turn, just driving down the road. We're just driving down the same road.
Who is it?
It's a slight right, just a slight right turn to Eugene.
Eugene.
Let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Good
I
one.
don't even have one to start. I don't have one, but Eugene popped in my head as a funny name. So, uh, and here's the thing. I feel like I don't want it to be Gene.
Okay. I was going to ask you that.
I feel like you have to be known as Eugene.
Eugene.
But I don't even know one.
I can think of a comedian named Eugene right away. You ever watch Bob's Burgers?
Yeah.
Eugene Merman is one of the main
One of
characters
those
on there.
things. Okay.
But
Let's
Eugene.
maybe Eugene's not it. You know
Eugene.
what would be good?
Eugene.
How about Bert's?
Bert's?
Bert.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I got a number one already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do
He
Bert.
lives on a certain famous street.
Not Bird.
No. He
Oh.
has a
He's got a caterpillar on his head.
he's got a caterpillar on his
Above
head,
his eyes.
above his eyes. He's got a friend, and it's, sort of up in the air whether he's just a friend or
Is
whether
it?
he's
I figure by now Sesame Street's got them homosexual for sure, right?
I'm sure they are now. Yeah,
I mean, that's 100%
I'm
now.
sure.
I mean,
I mean, they have the rainbow shirts.
yeah. Yeah. Oscar's down at the bottom, like, hey, oh, I'm not going there.
No, no, no.
Different podcast. Different podcast. We got off the rails a couple times.
Let's wait till we hit stop on the record, and then we'll go to town on that.
Oh, speaking of that, um, so I've talked on this podcast before. My buddy who the Parker's seen for hitting coaches and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So I've known him for a long time. He knows we do a podcast, and he's always joking around. I was out with him the other day, and he's, when am I getting on the podcast? You guys are always talking about coaching. I want to talk about hitting. I want to get on the podcast and just talk about hitting and baseball, blah, blah, blah.
That
And
would
I
be
was
fun.
like, dude, I'm telling you, it would be great. It'd be good. Now, me and Josh are old softball buddies. Like that's kind of how things happen. We might have to make this a different kind of rated
We can we
podcast
can rate it through
when old
properly.
boy comes on. Like we might have to, it'll be on the same page, but it might just have a slightly different, it
Sure.
might have a little E with a square around it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
at the end. I can't help it. It just comes out, right? It just,
Sure.
and I don't mean, yeah, it just a little bit more language. I can't stop sometimes. It comes out. Uh, so anyway, at some point in time, old Josh Baird, we'll try to get him on here.
Okay.
Most confident person you've ever met in your life.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
absolutely. His head might fit through the door. Maybe I might have to open up the door to the
Do some
podcast to
demo.
the rum day. Yeah, his. I used to joke with him all the time. I don't even know how you get inside of a golf cart. I don't know how you fit in a golf cart. How's your head get inside a golf cart? Loves himself a little bit of Josh, and he's also, to be honest, the dude is really good at everything he does.
Well, there you go.
Yeah,
I mean, if I was good at anything, I would probably be pretty excited about myself.
yeah, he is. So anyway, and I love him. He's helped Parker and my team. Uh, and I've all yeah, and always been a good guy. So
I want to talk to him about softball hitting.
oh boy, he'll talk to you. You want to talk about it? You're talking about this dude right here would sit at a softball park and all he did was hit. He's like, I'm not going in the field. He's got two fake teeth. His front teeth are fake.
Mm.
Please playing in the infield. And my man's not. It's not his forte, right? It's not what he does. He
Sure,
hits, right? He hits,
sure.
and busted him out. So you wouldn't know it, but he's got two fake ones in the front, because he took a ground ball to the face. So this dude just walked up to the plate. He'd have a towards the end of his career, he would wear, what do you call the hats with the brim all the way around him, like a floppy hat, like a bucket hat. He'd have
Oh,
his little. He'd
okay.
just walk up there with a bucket hat. He'd walk up there. Yep. See ya. Ball's out of the park, and he'd walk back into the dugout and hand it back down. All right, next guy, whatever you want to do. That's just what he did, right? And then sometimes if you run out of home runs, yeah, he quite a few little pop ups to the infield, but it happens when. But no, that's
You just hit the home run and take the out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a point in time where he would hit a seed to the fence, jog to first until somebody needed a runner. He's just like, I ain't running. Get out of here. I hit bombs or I jog to first and take me out. Um, yeah.
Mike Little's over there stretching.
Yeah, he's like, oh, here I go. But no, yeah, he'll talk softball hitting, anything hitting. Like that dude played for some really good softball teams. He got picked up. So there's a league out there. It's an all black league. Okay. And these, like, it is uber competitive.
Mhm.
And you can pick up like two or three
White.
white dudes. Yeah. 100, yeah. Exactly. But you only have a certain percentage that can be.
Reverse affirmative
It
action.
is. And Josh played on those teams, on a few of those teams that won like huge tournaments all over the country. And it's him and a whole bunch of other people, and he's the only white dude just sitting in the middle. And I walk out, I hit a bomb, I turn around and walk to the dugout. This is what he did. This is what he did.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, the good old days. The good old days. Yeah,
Man. All right.
he was one of the ones where we would go to Delhi Park, and we all played for different, like, softball teams, like for tournaments and stuff.
He would try to hit the other home plate
Yeah.
from him.
And we would put a team together that was ridiculous for being at Delhi Park, and everybody hated us. We'd draw cards to see where position you played that inning, draw cards for batting order. Nobody cared, right? We were just there having fun because we all played in tournaments and like serious softball outside serious. That's so stupid to say, but we did. And then we go to Delhi Park and just have fun.
Hmm.
And that was some of the funnest softball was playing with him at Delhi Park in that league because we just annihilated people. We would all bat left-handed. We would just be like, all right, we're all gonna bat
Jeez.
left-handed. And we would still beat teams. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a different time. We would dress up, do stupid stuff. But anyway, Josh played on some of those teams with me. One of those teams, one of those happy hour teams down at Delhi Park. A lot of fun. Man, a lot of fun. There's nothing better than beating the brakes off of people that run their mouth.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's so much
I
fun.
don't know how many times I've gotten to do that, but yeah, it's
Very
even fun to watch other people do that.
so much fun. And the problem is we also ran our mouths too. So it wasn't like 100% one way and we're just putting them in their place. Oh no, we put them in their place and then let them know that they were in their place. I don't know if that's good or not, but anyway.
Ugh.
All right, that's it. Bert Kreischer, Lucky, um, Berts, and then we're gonna just stick with it and go Mount Rushmore of Berts.
Yeah.
Man, oh, Kreischer's gonna be mad at us. He's gonna call us if he's not on either of ours.
Yeah. Bert, I'm going to tell you right now, you're not going to be on mine, buddy. I love you.
I was just gonna say.
I love you, but you're so good for comedy. You do these huge, these huge tours, and you bring out all these people. But I don't think you're going to be on mine. Yeah.
There you go. All
Purple
right.
I-11, Bert. Yeah. Anyway, we'll do that next week.
Purple 11. Quit acting like you were good enough to get in the Hall of Fame. Nobody knows who you are. You're not a Hall of Famer.
You have one of the best.
He's in the Hall of Fame, but
Yeah, you have one of the best, nicknames from old Boomer there. Bert be home, Bly 11.
Bert be home Bly 11. I don't remember that.
Yeah. Bert
From
be home, Bly
from Chris
11.
Berman?
Chris Berman. Yeah. Pretty sure that's who it was.
Probably. All right. So that's next week. Don't forget to turn your headlights on.